So you took an online test and you found out you're an ISFP, huh? And you wanted to be the adventurer. Problem is, the only adventure you're going to be going on is finding out that you aren't an ISFP. I've already made videos talking about how you aren't an INTP, INFJ, INTJ, and ENTP. So ISFPs are next. ISFP stands for Introverted, Sensing, Feeling, and Perceiving. Chances are, a lot of people are going to find those traits relatable. So it makes sense that just like in astrology, everybody's going to relate to each type. Like if you breathe air, you're an ISFP. So I have 9 traits that if you relate to, that means you probably aren't an ISFP. Or, you could just be a really special ISFP who doesn't relate to any of the traits. I mean, MBTI is pseudoscience anyway. So without further ado, let's get started. Well, ESFJs might be all about that base. ISFPs are all about them emotions. They're in touch with their feelings and values in only a way an INFP could understand. But ISFPs are in touch with their emotions in such a way that their feelings don't actually control them. That's right. In fact, ISFPs control their emotions and not the other way around. So much for FIDOMs being a bunch of crybabies, huh? Who's more in control of their emotions? The feeler who plans on having sad boy hours with their Spotify playlist? Or the thinker who watches all movies with AirPods in so they can crank up the volume of their music to 300% at the part of the movie where Mufasa dies? ISFPs have a strong ethic, just not a work ethic. They know what's right and wrong, and they don't let other people write the rules, they do. And because they make their own rules, ISFPs never break them. I mean, if you're gonna break your own rule, why make one up in the first place? Am I right, ESTPs? Well, other types might think that sometimes you need to break your own values for the greater good. ISFPs don't care about the greater good. That's just cult speak anyway. When I say ISFP, what's the first word that comes to your mind? Okay, stoner hippie is 2 words, 2 points from your Hogwarts house. But ISFPs are all about being authentic. They're 100% genuine them. There's no polyester. ISFPs have a strong sense of self. They know who they are. They don't need to go on an adventure of self-discovery. Their entire life is that adventure. Let me put it this way. ISFPs got married in Vegas by Elvis because planning it would just defeat the romance. No, wait. It was ESFPs who got married in Vegas. They got all 37 stamps on their awards card, so this wedding is half off. Okay, everybody can plan, ISFPs included. They just really don't like it. Plans are like spoilers for life. They don't want to know what happens next or feel restricted by past them. Past them isn't them. Why should past them tell them what to do? They want to be free spirits and do whatever now ISFP wants. So if you ever give an ISFP a plan, make sure you start it off with spoiler alert. Of all the types, ISFPs are probably the most likely to have an inspirational tattoo, and ENTPs are the most likely to have an ironic one. Well, ISFPs are a very internal type. They're also always going to be looking outside of themselves for inspiration. Stealing. I mean, reimagining. ISFPs almost have a need for external stimulation. They need external stuff so they can make their internal mind home insanely nice. I mean, nobody wants to be in an empty room with nothing, right? When it comes to external stimulation, ISFPs are kind of like meth heads, and they'll do anything to get their next high. Wow, we're really playing into that whole hippie stoner thing, aren't we? ISFPs love flowers. You can tell by their band. ISFPs are not only connected to their emotions, but they're connected to the real world too. They have a really good wire splitter. Well, ISFPs will spend half of their time in their head, or I guess maybe more like 60-70%. They'll spend the remaining time outside in the real world, popping bubble wrap and sniffing flowers. We call that ISFP vana. Well, ISFPs may not be Golden Globe winning A-list actors like ENFJs or INFJs, they're still pretty good. I'd say they're about C-list. ISFPs are really empathic and are pretty good at putting themselves in other people's shoes. And the rest of their clothes too. ISFPs are really into fashion, so if you're gonna wear all of their clothes, you might as well act like them too. So ISFPs try their best to strike a balance between being genuine and authentic, but also being Hollywood fake. ISFPs hold themselves to an extremely high standard, which is funny because they never live up to it. And because ISFPs are so intent on doing everything perfectly, they often just never start. Because let's be honest, perfect just means give up. What's the point of painting a masterpiece if it's gonna look like trash? At least when something is in their mind, it's not limited by their physical talent, and it can be whatever they want it to be. This is probably one of the biggest differences between INFPs and ISFPs. ISFPs spend a lot of time in their head, no doubt. But when they're out, they're out. They're in the moment, in the physical. They don't need to do the kind of jack-in-the-box door routine that INFPs need to. And they can be focused, locked in on that physical sensation. No sketchy focus supplement required. So yeah, you probably aren't an ISFP, but that's okay. Maybe you're an INTP, or maybe not. Watch this video to find out. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to my patrons, and I'll catch you guys all next time.